Hi there. Welcome. Come on in, but don't get too comfortable. I am the Nightmare Maker. Tell me, have you ever had an appointment with a Nightmare Maker before? Okay, well, let me begin by assuring you that I mean you no harm. Not all dreams are meant to soothe. Some are meant to challenge, so that we can confront those shadows in our minds and emerge stronger on the other side. So if it's okay with you, tonight I would like to guide you through several nightmare scenarios. Remember that I will keep you completely safe, although it might feel a little unsettling or frightening. Remember, nightmares are still just dreams. So what do you say? Ready to make a start? Then when you're ready, all you have to do is close your eyes. Close those eyes. And remember, I don't create nightmares to harm, but to heal in a way only discomfort can. After all, you can't appreciate the light without first understanding the dark. So here we are at our first destination. I always like to begin in a forest, especially when it's a little dark. We all know the forest, we all appreciate nature, but it can still be a little unsettling. Let's begin by adding some sounds. What I will do is I will leave you here for a moment to see how it makes you feel, but I will be close by, giving you some ideas as to how this nightmare might play out. Enjoy the spooky forest. You walk through a dense forest, the towering trees blocking out most of the light. Shadows stretch unnaturally long, and the air feels heavy and still. You sense movement at the edge of your vision, just a flicker. But when you turn, there's nothing there. The trees seem closer now, their twisted branches reaching toward you. The only sound is your breath and the faint, rhythmic rustling of leaves, as though the forest itself is breathing, watching your every move. The path ahead seems to twist and turn unnaturally, even though you could swear it didn't just moments ago. The deeper you go, the quieter the forest becomes, until even the rustling of leaves seems to hold their breath. Occasionally, you notice strange markings on the trees, symbols or scratches that you don't recognize but that feel deliberate, purposeful. It's almost as though someone or something has been here before, leaving a trail that you're now following. So what do we think to the forest? Too much? Could you take more, perhaps? Enough to scare you a little? Then let's move away from nature and head indoors. Now, our second destination. There's nothing quite like a long hallway to scare you a little. But what is in this hallway and what is behind those doors? Here's some sounds to help you along your way, and I will leave you to explore. This dimly lit hallway stretches farther than it should. The walls are lined with flickering lights, their hum the only sound accompanying your hesitant steps. The doors are spaced unevenly, some open to reveal nothing but darkness within. The floor creaks beneath you, and every now and again you hear faint footsteps. Yours or someone else's? The hallway feels alive, shifting ever so slightly, as if leading you somewhere you don't want to go. The air feels heavy, as though you're walking through something unseen. At the far end, did you see a shadow? Or was it a trick of the light? Yes, tell yourself it was a trick of the light. But the closer you get, the more distant the hallway seems, stretching further than you thought possible. And occasionally you hear faint murmurs, whispers behind those doors. But when you pause to listen, silence. So how about this never-ending hallway? Might you see it in your dreams this evening? Might you venture behind some of these doors to investigate those whispers further? Remember, you're still safe here. It's just a dream. Ready to head off to our third nightmare? Come on, let's go. Here we are at one of the most common nightmare scenarios. Welcome to the dentist's chair. Now, I'm sure there is such a thing as a pleasant and relaxing trip to the dentist if you look hard enough. However, for many, it is not a pleasant experience. And so a nightmare might be the best place to work through those feelings. Want to give it a try? Take a good look at the chair, and I'll see what I can suggest. You sit in the chair, the bright overhead light blinding as it swings slowly back and forth, casting long, uneven shadows. The room is sterile, silent, save for the faint hum of unseen machinery. A tray of sharp, glinting tools is placed beside you, each one seeming larger and more sinister than the one before. A figure stands over you, adjusting their gloves, an unnervingly loud stretching of latex. You open your mouth to speak, but no sound comes out. Only the sharp scent of antiseptic fills the air. The light above you still flickers, and shadows dance across the room. The tools on the tray gleam unnaturally, as though they've been polished to perfection, their sharp edges catching the light just enough to make you feel uneasy. The dentist still does not speak. They simply adjust their mask with a deliberate, practiced motion. You feel the chair recline slightly. Time to get some work done, but no time for anesthetic. Time to be brave. And are you feeling brave? I see no need to linger here. I feel like you may see this one in your nightmares without my help. Let's head somewhere perhaps a little scarier, but a little nicer. Back indoors. And there's something very unsettling about abandoned houses. Perhaps it's the solitude. Maybe it's the decay. Let me add some sounds. I'll leave you alone, but not for too long. Remember to trust your ears. The house is quiet. Too quiet. Dust hangs thick in the air, disturbed only by your steps on the creaking wooden floor. The furniture is draped in sheets, their ghostly forms illuminated by the light filtering through cracked windows. Somewhere deeper in the house, you hear a faint tapping, slow and rhythmic. But when you stop to listen, it stops. The walls seem to close in as you explore, the silence growing heavier, pressing against you like a held breath. A broken mirror leans against the wall, its jagged edges reflecting warped fragments of the room. A grandfather clock reminds you that time is passing, its pendulum making a tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Cold draft brushes past you, carrying with it the scent of something metallic. You glance at the staircase where the faintest sound of a creak echoes, but you know there's no one there. Had enough of footsteps in the house? How about something a little more abstract? Let's go. Under the water. Remember that this is just a dream, and therefore you can breathe naturally and easily. That doesn't mean it's going to be pleasant, however. This is a nightmare, after all. Let's add some sounds. Enjoy exploring being in the ocean. The surface is just above you, close enough to see faint ripples in the light. Yet no matter how hard you try to reach it, it remains out of your grasp. The water surrounds you, holding you in place. In the distance, a deep, rumbling noise echoes through the depths, like the call of something immense, stirring far below. The sound vibrates through the water, sending small ripples past you. Occasionally you catch a glimpse of something below, a shadow too large and too slow to belong to any creature you know of. The stillness around you is heavy, but the surface remains tantalizingly out of reach, a shimmering reminder of where you cannot go. How do we feel about this? Grasping for something just out of reach. Sound familiar? Working your way through it might be helpful. You can revisit this one at any time. But for now, I want to take you somewhere different. Somewhere that young and old alike can find a little creepy. Ready? The circus. A fun day out for the whole family. It really can be a fun place to go. Lots of things to see. Spectacles. Things you haven't seen before. Things you may never see again. And then there's clowns. There's always clowns. And tonight, there's only clowns. Can you see them? Let me step out of the way. You find yourself outside a shadowy circus tent. The faint smell of sawdust and grease paint lingering in the air. The ring is empty. No ringmaster to guide you. But you feel the presence of unseen eyes watching from the darkened seats. A distant tinny tune from a carousel organ plays, slow and out of tune. Then, from the shadows, figures emerge. Painted faces smiling too wide, movements slow and deliberate. They say nothing, but their laughter echoes around the tent, as if it's coming from somewhere far, far away. The smell of stale popcorn and candy lingers in the air, but there's no sign of an audience. Where are the crowd? The clowns move in strange, jerky motions. Their daubed smiles are naturally fixed. One of them holds up a balloon that squeaks softly as it deflates, the sound cutting through the tense silence. Above, a trapeze swings gently, though there's no one on it, and its movement feels disturbingly slow, as if caught in a loop. Happy to stay here? Would like to explore a little further, perhaps? No. People are never eager to remain. But not to worry. I have a couple more destinations for you. However, you won't see me at the beginning of the next one. but there is plenty to see. This one may feel a little scary and unnerving, but don't worry, no nightmare lasts forever. You are in a vast empty space, but you are not alone. The air feels charged, almost vibrating with silent energy. You feel their gaze on you. Hundreds, thousands of eyes watching you from the darkness. Some are wide and unblinking, others narrowed, their pupils flickering as if studying your every move. When you try to turn away, you find yourself surrounded, the eyes glowing faintly, reflecting an eerie light that doesn't seem to have a source. The weight of their stare is almost too much. Some of the eyes are impossibly large, blinking slowly, while others are small and dart around as though scanning for something. Their colours are unnervingly vivid. Reds, yellows, glowing greens that seem to pulse faintly in the dark. Occasionally, a pair closes, but another has already opened in its place. The longer you stand there, the heavier their gaze feels, like a weight pressing against your chest, daring you to look away. Nobody likes to be stared at. So for my last destination, I offer you simply this: the dark. Remember, don't be afraid of the dark. Don't blame it for what your imagination puts in it. Everything is pitch black. You try to focus, straining to see even the faintest light, but there's only the oppressive void. The silence is deafening, so complete you can hear your own pulse, loud and echoing in your ears. Then, faintly, a sound, a soft scrape, far off, and then closer, as if something is moving toward you. The darkness presses in tighter, wrapping around you like a living thing, and you feel the weight of something unseen, just out of reach. Feeling brave, you reach out, hoping to find something, anything to anchor yourself. But that your hand meets only empty air. The silence presses against your ears, growing louder with each passing moment, until even your breathing feels intrusive. Then faintly a sound, an almost imperceptible hum, rhythmic, strange, as if the darkness itself is alive. The feeling of being watched is overwhelming, but when you turn, there is nothing there. Just the endless dark. Time to open your eyes and know that for now at least the nightmares are over. How was that? Any that you thought might be helpful for the future? Anything that might help you work through anything you're feeling? Well, if you would ever like to visit some more destinations, simply book another appointment and I will be happy to take you through them. But for now, the nightmares are well and truly over. And to reward yourself, I would suggest a visit to the Dream Maker, because it really is time for some sweet dreams, of which I wish you the very best. But thank you for coming to see me today. Thank you for being open-minded and brave and working through all of these potential nightmares. And I look forward to seeing you again soon if you feel you should need it. But in the meantime, take care of yourself